This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I always talk about the 4 stages of leadership on this channel. Number 1, lead yourself. Number 2, lead a team. Number 3, lead women. And number 4, lead kids. However, there is a stage 0. And I will let you know what that is in today's video. It is to be led. Or in other words, to follow the leader. Why is step 0, be led, or follow the leader, so important? It's because if you don't know what it is that you want, if you don't know the why of why you're becoming a leader in the first place, you will never continue and finish the stages. Stage number 1 is hard. Stage number 2 is even worse. And then you get stage number 3 and 4, and you hope to goodness it's gonna improve, but it just gets harder and harder. Which is a positive thing because you are becoming better and better. But is the journey going to be worthwhile? That's why you need step 0. To make sure that you know that this is going to be worthwhile. Is having someone who has gone the path before you and he knows what is good and what is bad about the circumstance and the lifestyle that he's achieved, and you know what it takes to get to where he is, and you know inside the pit of your stomach that you still want what he has, and you're willing to go through everything that he went through in order to get it. Understand that the people who have exactly what it is that you want, they had to become someone in order to get what they wanted. In the same way, you don't know who you need to become yet to get what you want. That's why you need to look at the people who have what you want, and this is the positive time to compare yourself, and you look at them and you'll see that's exactly what it is that I want. Are you sure about that? Because then you'll actually have to go through the same challenges, the same obstacles, the same problems as they have and overcome them in order to become who they are or like they are in order to have what it is that they have. We have to remember that those people who have what we want, they've got a massive comfort zone. Everything that you desire is outside your comfort zone. What's the problem with the comfort zone? The problem with it is that very often people go outside it and then they're like, no, this can't be it. This can't be the journey that this person has gone through because he's got massive joy and happiness and circumstances must have been different for him. Most probably they weren't. Most probably he's gone through the exact same things that you see when you go outside your comfort zone. And the problem with you is that you go back into your comfort zone and run away from the problems instead of facing them head on. What that person did eventually managed to do was to go outside his comfort zone, face his fears continuously and constantly, consistently, until they were not as big a deal anymore. And then he just kept on going outside of his comfort zone. You can say that it's all about confidence. However, the most confident people in the world have gone outside their comfort zone and been unconfident continuously until they are there where they have massive amounts of confidence. And that came from being okay with being feminine for a little while. I'll repeat this one more time. I love this concept. I talk about masculinity and femininity all the time. And people seem to forget that inside your comfort zone, you feel masculine, you feel comfortable, you feel confident. When you get outside your comfort zone, that's when you feel feminine. That's when you feel emotionally all over the place and you can't handle it and everything's horrible. And so you return back to your masculinity because you think that this is where all the solutions are. It's not. It's on the opposite side of femininity, the opposite side of failure, and the opposite side of the problems, the fears that you're going to find success, that you're going to find joy and happiness, that you're going to get the confidence eventually that those people that have what you want already have. They went through the same thing as you, man. They just chose to stick with it until they were comfortable in that uncomfortability. Now their masculinity and their comfort zone has increased. So the key to mentoring is to get the help necessary to be held accountable, to stick to it, to stay in that outside your comfort zone state until it becomes comfortable. To hold yourself accountable by having someone that you can report to, who will be like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you progressing? Are you not progressing? Someone who stands by you on a daily basis and practically holds your hand because you need hand holding. Realize that in the path of success, if you're not already there, you're still a thumbsucker. And you need to have your hand held. There's nothing bad about that. It's actually fantastic to realize that, you know what? I suck. But that's okay, because everyone has sucked at some point in their lives. The problem is when you say, no, I'm good. I don't need any help. Actually, I think I can figure this out on my own. Boy, you're actually going to be stuck as a thumbsucker for a very, very long time. Or it's going to take so much time that was completely unnecessary, because you could have had someone who knew what he was talking about guide you past your issues. Who knows? If he is a few years ahead of you or a few steps ahead of you, he knows more than you do. It's kind of like you walking through a minefield. On that minefield, you only need to know where the footprints are. You only need to know someone who is just a few steps ahead of you in order for you not to blow up. And the person in front of you doesn't want you to blow up, or else he'd be just going on his journey. But if he's actually looking back and saying, hey, I can help you, man, then take it. That would be the masculine thing to do. Although it seems to be that the masculine thing to do is to figure things out on your own. Except for the fact that that's just going to take longer time, which means that it's not really a rational thing to do, which means that you're kind of being still feminine. But feminine in a bad way, because you're not progressing. You're remaining masculine in your little comfort zone. So who should you listen to? Because there's so many guys out there who say that they've got all the answers, including me, by the way. What I would do is to find the people or the person who have exactly what it is that you desire. If you cannot pay for their services, or if you cannot find a way for you to work for free for them on a consistent, continual basis over several months and years, then what I would recommend is having an affordable coach. Someone who has gone just a few steps ahead of you and who knows a little bit more about what he's talking about than you are, just to help you to get to the next level. That's the only thing you need. Get to the next level, but do it in an affordable way so you don't massively ruin your chances, you're not taking a huge, massive risk, and you're not jeopardizing your entire future. Very often, if you're going to spend $10,000 to have one meeting with a fantastic multimillionaire, that's going to be absolutely amazing. However, that's not your biggest problem. The biggest problem is having someone there when you suck. Having someone there when you're like, what should I do now, man? Having someone there when you're emotionally all over the place. Having someone there when you basically are not being committed. Because that's what's happening to most of us most of the time. We're not taking the necessary steps in the right direction that we're supposed to be taking. And the only reason is because there's no one else that is holding you accountable to take the necessary steps of action for you to progress. That's all it is. remember that it's input, output. Meaning the results you have in your life comes from the input that you put inside your brain, inside the mind. That's where it all starts. So if you're spending time with people who have the exact same amount of money as you have, or less, or who have the exact same clothes as you have, or less, or who basically blame and talk about like whatever it is that they're talking about, you're going to think like them. You need to take the necessary step of finding someone who is going somewhere and who wants to bring you with him. And if it's affordable or free, then hang on to it with your dear life, because that is your ticket to the next level. That's your ticket towards getting to the next step where you can pay thousands and thousands of dollars to people who actually got the perfect lifestyle that you desire. So the first few steps, of course, can be watch YouTube, read the books, and listen to those guys, right? And spend a lot of time with them, because the more time you spend with successful people, the more you'll begin to think like they do, and then behave like they do, and then take massive action towards your dreams and goals. However, there's one obstacle when it comes to just watching YouTube and just reading books all the time, and that is the problem of general information. General information is great. You're going to think like them and walk and talk like them. However, that general information is going to take a long time to acquire because it is based on generalization. These are topics that are meant for the masses. And if you continuously just go off that information alone, you'll never be able to progress towards your end destination. You've got to have someone who directs you in your specific issues and problems, because those issues and problems are going to be different for everyone. Everyone has a different upbringing. Everyone has a different set of problems. Everyone has a different wife or girlfriend or self-esteem issues. Everyone needs to do the exact same thing, which is consistency and sticking to something for a long period of time and showing up consistently for a long period of time until the exponential growth curve comes and they achieve their success. But to get that consistency and to get rid of distractions and to figure out what it is that needs to be done, very often you need someone that you can talk to who can help you and direct you in your specific circumstance. I cannot underline this enough. I've done this so many times. I've had tons of coaches where I just needed to learn something to get to the next level. And once I got to the next level, I now could move on to the next coach. And when I made more money, I could then move on to the next coach. And there's still tons of coaches that I want to hire in my future. Understand that rich people have tons of coaches. In some ways, those are the ones that have lots of coaches. Poor people, they rely on the information that they've got on their own. So the question remains, do you want to remain with your puny little information and your YouTube channel and your books that you're reading, 10 minutes once in a while? Or do you want to have a coach that's on your ass every single day about progression? I recommend the last one. My expertise is consistency, emotional stability, getting happiness in what you do, and understanding the big picture of things, making sure you show up on a continuous basis. These are the critical aspects to success. So, since I'm recommending myself as your go-to coach, all-around accountability coach, because what you measure improves, and when you measure it and report it, that improvement improves. Let's talk about what I'm going to do for you guys. The first 20 people that comments on this video, I'm going to give a free coaching session right here in December. We're preparing right now for 2020, man. 2020 is around the corner. In 3 weeks' time, we've got a whole new year in front of us. If you start now to set up your goals, to set up your life for the next 10 years, it begins now. With me, helping you in a free coaching session to kind of get alignment, to kind of catch a vision of what you want to accomplish and do, and what your distractions and obstacles are, will set you up for 2020 like nothing else. Out of those 20, I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna choose 3 of those 20, depending upon how we relate to each other, the goals that you have, the circumstance and conditions of your life, and how consistent you prove to be. I will give those 3 guys a whole month of free coaching sessions. And that will be 4 coaching sessions, meaning once every week on Skype, and then they can text me at any point in time and I respond to them continuously throughout those 28 days. That's what I'm willing to do for those 3 of those 20 that comment down below. The first 20 are the ones that are going to get a free coaching session. I suppose this is an early Christmas gift for those that are following on my channel, so I hope that you make use of it and contact me in the email in the description. Make sure you like this video if you haven't already done so. Share it with as many people as possible, because you know that they need emotional stability. You know that they can take things to the next level if they're just consistent with the things that they know they should be doing. That's where I come in. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.